Hi, I'm Jennifer. What's your name?
I'm Dean.
And your name?
My name's Luke.
And you're coming to the cathedral to do a talk for us in September, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Jews of Hereford, medieval Jews of Hereford, broadly defined, looking at the history and records of the community.
And why Hereford? Besides the fact that we're obviously in Hereford.
What many people might not realise is that in the medieval period there were Jewish communities across the Midlands area, in Hereford and in Worcester, and as far across as Bristol, and in many different places. Many of these areas, while we research them, won't be immediately, most people won't know a lot about these things, so it's about unearthing medieval Anglo-Jewish history.
And are there any particular individuals who are really interesting in Hereford?
I mean, all of the Jewish individuals of medieval Hereford are incredibly interesting, naturally. But people like Hamo of Hereford, who died in 1231, but also great Jewish women of the period, like a Jewish woman called Blanche, for example. So men and women, all interesting equally.
So there's a range of sort of social topics that are going to be covered as well as just history.
I mean, history is all encompassing, but yes, we will bring everything together: people, social structures, community, and records.
And you're from Worcester, Luke. Is there any connection between Hereford and Worcester at this time period?
Yes, Dean will explain that when we do our talks, and also there's incredible interconnections from the marshes all across England in terms of these medieval Anglo-Jewish communities. So as somebody who's from Hereford and from Worcester, it's really useful to have these insights to understand what was going on in these places in the medieval period, and build up a social picture of life in this period that will reveal an awful lot to people who maybe have never come across these Anglo-Jewish communities that were at different times thriving, at other times subject to anti-Semitic attack over taxation, and then eventually expulsion in 1290.
And one last question, which is a big one though, why does this matter now? Why should we still talk about this?
I mean, we should always talk about history, we should always talk about medieval history, but it's a chapter of English history which has often been forgotten, and this is not just a story of Jews, it's a story of Hereford, and you can't understand one without the other, so incredibly important to get both, and given this, that we are now in a period where we know a lot more about the history and the records of the Jewry, it makes sense to come together and think about that topic.
And I lied, I said one more question. Just about Joe Hillaby. Who was Joe Hillaby, and will you be discussing his work during the talk?
It's impossible to discuss the topic of medieval Anglo-Jewry without discussing Joe Hillaby's work. He was one of the great scholars of both Hereford, Worcester, the Marches, and Anglo-Jewry more generally. He wrote on the Jews from the 1980s through to 2013, and really defined the field. So very much the giant upon whose shoulders we all stand, and thus we will be thinking about reflecting on and developing that research, hopefully.
And it's really great to have that, have this as a testament to Joe Hillaby as well, isn't it? With his passing last year, and it's a great loss to the field. So I'm really glad you're carrying on that work.
Thank you.